Salut à tous, my name is Marion Buricatu. I am a French artist and I lived here in the United States since 2001. This video is about art and how to impress your friends and family at the museum with 3 easy facts. Why is the Hudson River School of Painting so interesting? Well, merci for asking, and the answer is very simple, because these paintings are just beautiful, they are majestic, and they're huge. So here are the 3 facts I'm going to talk about today. Fact number 1, it's about the 19th century American landscape painters. Fact number 2, it's about the vastness of the new frontier. And fact number 3, it's about church and Bierstadt. So here is a painting by Sanford Robinson Gifford. It's called A Passing Storm in the Adirondacks. It was painted in 1866, and this painting is at the Wadsworth Atheneum in Hartford, Connecticut. I am going to focus on 3 main museums today because they are local and they have wonderful collection of these paintings, and you can just go for a nice day trip to visit these museums. The first one is the Harvard Art Museum in Cambridge, Massachusetts. The second one is the Wadsworth Atheneum in Hartford, Connecticut. And the third one is the Worcester Art Museum in Worcester. Okay, so fact number 1, it's about 19th century American landscape painters. So these guys were a group of informal painters, landscape painters. They were from New York City and they started painting along the Hudson River Valley, like for example in the village of the Catskills. And it's really worth going there for a day trip, and I have put below some few links so you can just visit and see and spend a nice day there. Also, what they did is that they went also to paint in the Adirondacks Mountains and also the White Mountains. The father of this movement was Thomas Cole. This is a view in the White Mountain by Thomas Cole, painted in 1827. And this painting is at the Wadsworth Atheneum in Hartford, Connecticut. Then there is a second generation of painters from this school, and this generation is from the second half of the 19th century. These guys, they painted New England, but they also venture into far-flung territories like the American West and South America. Now, fact number 2, it's about the vastness of the new frontier, and this is their mission statement. For example, here is a painting by Thomas Moran called Mountain of the Holy Cross in Colorado. As you can see on this painting, it has multiple focal points. Your eyes keep going everywhere because in fact, why is that? It's because the landscape is magnificent. The landscape is grandiose. You are in awe, and this is a gift of God because these painters have a deep connection to spirituality. Okay? So here is a painting called A Ledge on South Mountain in the Catskills by Sanford Gifford, painted in 1862, and this painting is at the Harvard Art Museum. There is one more thing to say about their mission statement, is that they painted during the 19th Romantic period. And this period is really important because it was a reflection about the country industrial transformation. The East Coast was really changing, and then they would go and they would discover the west of America and discover this beautiful landscape. And here is a question they kept on asking: are human beings coexisting peacefully with nature? Hence the spirituality of their paintings. Now, fact number 3, church and Bierstadt. So these are the 2 main painters that really I think are important in this group, but in fact I looked in Wikipedia and there are 24 painters. So you see, there's much more painters of this school. They had a style, and the style was called Luminism. I repeat, Luminism. It's an emphasis on the effect of light, exactly like Impressionism that was happening in France kind of at the same time. But there are two big differences. The first difference is that Luminism really has a lot of attention to detail, and also they are hiding their brush strokes, which is not the case with Impressionism. So here are the two main painters, Frederick Edwin Church, and this is a painting from 1846. And it is at the Wadsworth Atheneum in Hartford, Connecticut. This museum has one of the largest collections of paintings by the artist of the Hudson River School. It's a nice day trip and I can't wait to go. The second painter is Albert Bierstadt, and this is a painting that he did. It's called Yosemite Fall. And this painting is at the Worcester Art Museum. He was born in Germany, but he grew up in the US. So here are the three facts. Easy to remember about the school, the Hudson School of Painting. Fact number one, it's about 19th century American landscape painters. Fact number two, it's about the vastness of the new frontier. And fact number three, it's about Church and Bierstadt. Now, if you want to have fun or just impress your friends even more at the museum or at the next dinner table, the next video is just for you because I have created 7 trivia questions. This video is a sequel of the video about the Hudson River School, which was about how to impress your friends and family at the museum with 3 easy facts. But this video is special because I have created 7 awesome trivia questions to not only impress your friends and family, but also to just have fun. So here is a painting by Sanford Robinson Gifford called A Passing Storm in the Adirondacks. It was painted in 1866, and this painting is at the Wadsworth Atheneum in Hartford, Connecticut. So let's get starting with my victim of the day, my husband, Johan. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
So are you ready for some tough questioning about the Hudson River School painters?
Yes, please.
Okay, so question number 1. The Hudson River School painters were still life painters, portrait painters, landscape painters.
Landscape painters.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. Okay, question number 2. Who was the father of this movement? Thomas Cole, Samuel Morse, George Inness.
Thomas Cole.
Bravo! So the other names are not here by mistake, and you might see this name in some of the paintings of the same period. Okay, now question number 3. What mountains did they paint? Did they paint the Himalayas? Did they paint the Alps? And did they paint the Adirondacks?
Adirondacks.
Well, you didn't say it well. Adirondacks.
Adirondacks.
Okay, so question number 4. What were they trying to express? The Civil War, the American Constitution, or the vastness of the new frontier?
The vastness of the new frontier.
Oh, bravo. Okay, question number 5. This school is part of a larger art movement called Renaissance, Romanticism, or Impressionism?
Impressionism?
Well, you know what? It's the wrong answer, even if it's the same time period, but in fact it's Romanticism. Okay, question number 6. What is the name of one of the most prominent painters of this school? Was it Frederick Edwin Church, Leonardo da Vinci, Claude Monet?
Church?
Yes, bravo. Okay, question number 7. Which museum has one of the largest collections of paintings from the Hudson River School? Is it the Corcoran Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C.? Is it the Metropolitan Museum in New York City? Or is it the Wadsworth Atheneum in Hartford, Connecticut?
It's probably a museum in Connecticut.
Well, it was a trick question because in fact the answer is all of them.
Oh.
Yes. So please print these questions and their answer and bring your friends and family at the museum and have a good time. So Why is the story of Samuel Morse so interesting? Well, merci for asking, and the answer is very simple. Because he was an American artist and inventor. He was called the American Leonardo, and I love it when we mix art and science because my background is in science and I love it when we do that. Okay, so here are the 3 facts I'm going to talk to you about today. Fact number 1, the artist. Fact number 2, the gallery of the Louvre. Fact number 3, the revolution in communication. Here is a photography of Samuel Morse in 1840. He was 49 years old. Okay, so fact number 1, the artist. Samuel Morse was a renowned and accomplished portrait painter in the first half of the 19th century. He did some really fine portraits of US presidents, military heroes, and prominent Americans. Here is a portrait of the Marquis de Lafayette, painted in 1826, and this painting is in New York City Hall. This is another painting, the Chapel of the Virgin at Subiaco, while in Italy. This painting was done in 1830, and this painting is at the Worcester Art Museum. Okay, another painting called Niagara Falls from Table Rock. This was painted in 1835, and this painting is at the Museum of Fine Art in Boston. Okay, fact number 2, the Gallery of the Louvre. This was his masterpiece. The thing is that he was a portrait painter, but he wanted to become a historical painter because this was so much more prestigious at that time. But for that, he needed to study in France and Italy. So he went there for 3 years. And then, while in Paris, he went to the Louvre and he started painting the Salon Carré du Louvre. So, in English, it would be the Square Salon of the Louvre. This is the room where they would exhibit all the contemporary paintings. But what he did a little trick, is that he rearranged it to his liking with pictures from the Italian Renaissance, like for example, the Mona Lisa. So it's not real, it's virtual, it's a pastiche. Because his mission was to educate the American, and he thought that they needed to be educated with the Renaissance Italian painters. In 1834, so at that time he was back in the US. He finished the painting, and he wrote, "My picture c'est fini," which means my picture is finally finished. But it was a financial flop, and it really didn't bring the success he was hoping for. And we can say that for his career, this was a turning point. He kind of stopped painting, and this led to the invention that revolutionized communication. Okay, so fact number 3, the revolution in communication. In the 1830s, while coming back from France, he developed the electric telegraph. So it worked by transmitting electrical signals over a wire laid between stations. It completely revolutionized long-distance communication. Before, for example, if you wanted to send a letter, you would use horse messengers, like, for example, the Pony Express. So what did he do? He really invented text messaging, using a wire and a code called the Morse code. In 1844, the first line was laid between Baltimore and Washington. And in 1866, the first line was laid across the Atlantic Ocean from US to Europe. Okay, so here are the 3 facts easy to remember about Samuel Morse. Fact number 1, an artist. Fact number 2, the Gallery of the Louvre. And fact number 3, the revolution in communication. Now, if you want to learn more about Samuel Morse, because there are so many wonderful websites, things to read, I have put a series of links below, and you can please don't hesitate to learn more about Samuel Morse. This video is the sequel of Samuel Morse, which was about how to impress your friends or family at the museum with 3 easy facts. But this video is special because I'm giving you 7 awesome trivia questions to not only impress but just entertain and have fun at your next dinner table. So here is a photography of Samuel Morse in 1840. He was 49 years old. Let's get started with my victim of the day, my husband, Johan. Hi, how are you?
Hello.
So, are you ready for some questions?
Yes, please.
Okay, question number 1 about Samuel Morse. Samuel Morse was an artist and a doctor, a pastor, an inventor.
He was an inventor.
Bravo, bravo. So, question number 2. He lived in which century? 19th century, 20th century, 17th century?
19th century.
Bravo, bravo. Question number 3. He painted the portraits of which famous French military hero? So this one is going to be easy for you. I hope so. Was it Charles de Gaulle? Was it Napoleon? Or was it le Marquis de Lafayette?
It was easy. Napoleon.
Mistake. Oh. It was a Marquis de Lafayette, but you know, kind of the same period. So that's okay. Okay, another question that should be easy also. In which city was the painting, the Gallery of the Louvre, made? Was it Rome, London, or Paris?
Paris.
Bravo. At least you know that the Louvre is in Paris. Okay, question number 5. What was his major invention? The light bulb, the electric telegraph, or the photography?
Electric telegraph.
Yes, and I put the photography because in fact he was very interested at that time with this new invention also called the photography. Okay, question number 6. What is the name of the code he invented? The Morse code, the binary code, the text code?
The Morse code.
Morse code, bravo. Okay, which year was the first wire laid across the Atlantic Ocean? 1914, 1846, 1866.
Aha.
Haha.
1866.
Bravo, bravo, good answer. Okay, so please print this question and their answer and bring your friends and family at the museum or just entertain them and have fun at your next dinner table. There are also many more things to say, so check out the links below about Samuel Morse. Why is the invention of the paint tube so interesting? Well, merci for asking this amazing question. And the answer is very simple. It's because this is a technological innovation that changed the art world. Here are the 3 facts I'm going to talk to you about. Fact number 1, before it was a messy process. Fact number 2, it was invented by an American in 1841. And fact number 3, en plein air. Here is a picture of the history of the Artist color tube, and notice the syringe before the paint tubes on the picture. Okay, fact number 1, before a messy process. What happened is that when they didn't have the paint tube, they had to mix their colors every time. So it was messy, it was time consuming, and the oil paint would be very quick to dry out. So for example, they would have apprentices, the painters would have apprentices that would grind the pigment with linseed oil, as you can see on the picture. So because of that, when they would paint, they would have to fill one area of canvas at a time. Like for example, they would have to paint all the red, and then they would have to paint all the blue. We don't paint like that anymore. We move from one color to another. We just have to be careful that our brushes are not too dirty, but we have no problem having all our color on our palette. So also, we couldn't paint outside. There was no way they could paint outside because the oil paint was just too liquid, so they would always paint in the studio. And if you were an adventurous painter and you really wanted to go outside, what you would do is that you would put your oil paint in pig bladders, and they were perforated and closed with a string. obviously they would burst often, very frequently. It was a very messy process. Fact number 2. It was invented by an American in 1841. His name was John Gough Rand, and he was living in London. So the metal paint tube was made of tin, T-I-N. It was sealed with a screw cap, and it gave paint a long shelf life. It didn't leak, and it could be repeatedly open and close. It sounds so obvious nowadays, but this was huge. The fact that you could close it and open it repeatedly was a big thing. It was a revolutionary invention because now you can go outside. But it took a long time for the French painter to accept this new invention, because the problem is that it added extra cost to the paint. But in the meantime, there were some new colors, there were some new artificial pigments, and paints were cheaper. For example, French ultramarine artificial pigment was developed in 1830, and it was so much cheaper than the natural pigment lapis lazuli. So next time you go to the museum, imagine, look at the paintings that were made before the paint tube. They were working on one color at a time. It's a completely different way to approach how you're making your painting. Now, fact number 3, en plein air. So, the artist Pierre-Auguste Renoir is quoted as saying that without paint in tubes, there would have been nothing of what the journalists were later to call the Impressionists. Finally, they could escape the studio, they could go outside, and they could paint the effect of light as they would see it. And they could finish their painting on site. That also was a big new thing. Here is a painting called The Cliffs at Etretat by Claude Monet, painted in 1885, and this painting is at the Clark Institute in Williamstown, Massachusetts. Camille Pissarro, who is called the father of the Impressionism, also said, don't paint bit by bit, but paint everything at once by placing tones everywhere, working all over the canvas simultaneously. Again, it's about working with all your colors. Suddenly they have the freedom to paint with all the colors at the same time. And here is a painting by Camille Pissarro, Landscape at St. Charles, painted in 1891. And this painting is also at the Clark Institute in Williamstown, Massachusetts. Well, so here are the 3 facts easy to remember about the invention of the paint tube. Fact number 1, before a messy process. Fact number 2, invented by an American in 1841. And fact number 3, en plein air. Now, if you want to impress even more your friends and family at the museum, or just have fun at your next dinner table, the next video is just for you, because I have created 7 trivia questions. Also, if you want to learn more about this amazing invention, check out the link below. This video is the sequel of a video, The Invention of the Paint Tube, which was about how to impress your friends and family at the museum with 3 easy facts. But in this video, I'm giving you 7 awesome trivia questions so you can not only impress, but just have fun with your friends and family at the museum or at, the next dinner table. So here is a picture of the history of the Artist color tube. Let's get started with my victim of the day, my husband, Johan. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Question number 1. To make oil paint, you have to mix pigments with olive oil, motor oil, linseed oil.
Nice try. Linseed oil.
Yes. Okay. Question number 2. Before paint tube was invented, what container was used? Pig bladders, rubber balloon, bagpipe.
Pig bladders?
Pig bladders. Bravo. Okay, question number 3. Who invented the metal tube paint? Was it Claude Monet, Pierre-Auguste Renoir or John Gough Rand?
John Gough.
Rand.
Right.
Bravo. An American. Question number 4. French ultramarine artificial pigment was invented in 1789, the French Revolution, 1865, the end of the Civil War, 1830.
I have no idea.
So,
The first one, 1789.
well, no. It was 1830.
Okay.
Okay? Okay, question number 5. Painting outside is called. That's going to be very easy for him. Okay, I repeat the question. Painting outside is called sur la mer, en plein air, en hiver.
Easy. En plein air.
Bravo. Yeah, I was just playing, on the words. Okay, question number 6. Who painted the cliffs at Étretat? Claude Monet, Édouard Manet, Berthe Morisot.
Claude Monet.
Bravo! Last question, question number 7. Which painter said, don't paint bit by bit? Was it Alfred Sisley, Paul Cézanne, Camille Pissarro?
Not sure. Camille Pissarro?
Bravo, the father of Impressionism. Okay, so please print this question and their answer and bring your friends and family at the museum or just have fun. Also, don't forget to check out the links below. Nice chatting with you. Abonne-toi, which means subscribe to my channel. Have fun and see you at the next video.